Alright guys, we are back on the Terraria guns only account. Got my mini shark now and the ammo box now that we've started hard mode. I also made some cobalt armor in between this time and last time. But today we're just gonna be trying to beat, the mechs. Now I will say that we didn't actually beat all the mechs in this video, which is kinda crazy considering this is still a full length video. But I don't know why this part of the challenge just took me so long to do, because I just kept dying over and over to the bosses that I did fight, and I just feel like the guns around this point of the game aren't that strong. So this one's gonna be a little shorter, and I also wanted to get this out for Thanksgiving, so I haven't had as much time to like practice all the fights. But I think at the end of this video I had enough gear to kill them all. But that's enough from me. So sit back, relax, grab a snack, and enjoy the show. The first thing I decided to do was figure out what weapon I was going to get. My options were the coin gun, the onyx blaster, and the Uzi, so I started getting the parts for the onyx blaster. Went to the corrupt desert that was at the right side of my world, and that was pretty easy to do, and I ended up having all the materials and crafted the onyx blaster, which would be the weapon that I was going to use for most of this challenge. I was kind of lucky that I had enough souls of night, because the place where I have to get souls of night from is actually horrible, because it's like in the middle of my elevator, so I have to like go through it. It's really weird and bad. But I did get my onyx blaster, and that would be what I use for most of this. The next thing I did was look for the shimmer to make my summoner emblem into a ranger emblem. I found it pretty fast. It was just on the deep left side of my world. So after finding the shimmer, I threw my summoner emblem in there, and then I also turned one of my heart crystals into a vital crystal so that I could have permanent increased life regen, which would be super helpful. The first boss I tried to fight was Queen Slime. It was kind of really hard for me to dodge her projectiles because I had no wings at this point, so I knew that was something I needed to get. But I honestly didn't think it would go that bad, and I ended up getting her down to 22k. I mean, I was making a pretty big mistake here. I didn't realize it, and I'll tell you guys about that later. But yeah, I ended up not doing too bad. I was just kind of trying to shred her with the onyx blaster. I was using regular bullets too, but I didn't know that you could make crystal bullets until like a little bit after this. But I was just using my B, using my onyx blaster, and I ended up doing some decent damage until I kind of slipped up right here and died. But then I decided I should probably try to fight the destroyer, because that was the mech I needed the most for creating the mega shark. Next up was the destroyer. For this I decided to use a sky bridge and just try to stay as far away from his head as I could. Like, I ended up doing some pretty decent damage to him, but it wasn't anything too crazy. And I was slowly getting rid of his health, but then I just kind of slipped up right here. There were too many lasers, and I just ended up dying, and I was still making the same mistake. After that unfortunate mistake, I tried to fight Queen Slime again, and this time I used my two different arenas, this high sky bridge that I had built for Destroyer, and the low one that I already had for Eater of Worlds before, and I was just going up and down between them. I actually got Queen Slime to second phase by doing this. I ended up staying up on the top arena for most of this, because I thought it'd be easier if I just stayed in one place, but then I ended up dropping, and she kind of followed me, and it was a good range for my onyx blaster to do good work. But I still ended up dying to all the projectiles around because of the same stupid mistake. For some reason, I decided to fight the twins. I found a mechanical eye spawn on the ground, and I don't know why I started the recording here. Probably because I didn't think I was going to get anywhere, and I wasn't going to record it. But I ended up making some pretty decent progress with just my onyx blaster, some basic buffs, and my bee and my harpy wings, which I now had at this point. So I wasn't doing too bad. And then, kind of around here, I started to get low, and I was like, oh shoot, I should try to nurse heal, which I had never done in a boss fight before. Like, I've literally never tried to do that, but I moved my nurse here on purpose, because I thought, okay, I'll try to nurse heal this time. And I got right up to the door, tried to use a pylon, I forgot it didn't work, and I just ended up dying, and my nurse died. So, that was the end of my twins fight, but I finally fixed my mistake. In case you couldn't tell by watching all of those other boss fights, my big mistake was having my camera super zoomed in. Like, I could not see a single thing. I don't know why I was doing bosses like that. Like, I guess it's fine to do normal gameplay like that, but I figured out that having my camera zoomed out is just so much better for boss fights. And this was my first attempt of Queen Slime while doing that. I didn't end up winning this fight. I ended up like dying around her second phase. But this is more just to see how the zoomed out camera worked. And after I figured that out, it was time for my first real Queen Slime fight. So my plan for this fight was to just go up and down between the platforms like I had been before. But with the zoomed out camera, I could actually see her much better when I was going up and down, which just made my DPS so much higher. Like, I was still missing some of my shots in the Onyx Blaster, which kind of sucked. But I was getting good damage, and my plan was just kind of let her get up, and then I would to make her teleport not on the platform, so I could shoot her while we were both falling down. And this was pretty good for damage, and it made me avoid a lot of the little crystal projectiles and the bouncy balls. So I ended up doing some decent damage, and then we were on to her second phase. For the second phase of this fight, I just kind of ended up using my B and my wings to stay up as much as possible. Touching the ground was kind of just a recipe for death because of all the little bombs shooting around. Like, each of those bombs hit me for like 100, so I could not tank those. Which is like my biggest healing potions were only healing for 100 instead of 150. So I just kind of had to stay as far away from the ground as I could, use my sky platform as much as possible, and then I eventually ended up killing her. And that was our first boss of the video down. Next, I fought the twins again. I actually have no clue why I did this one. I didn't even find this summon. I crafted it myself. So, I don't know what I was thinking. There was no benefit for me killing the twins over the destroyer, because the twins would give me nothing while the destroyer would give me the mega shark, which I was planning to use to actually kill the twins. But my Onyx Blaster ended up doing pretty decent damage here. I had some buffs, but I wasn't maximum buffed yet because I hadn't really done that much fishing. And I had 0 bait, pretty much. Like, I had 4, but it was all like just random dragonflies and stuff, so I wasn't gonna catch anything good. But yeah, for this boss fight, I really just tried to avoid Sebastian's flames. Like, I didn't even look at Red Knizer a single time, I don't think. Like, I saw the purple lasers, but I didn't actually actively try to dodge them. They just kind of weren't hitting me. And I ended up getting a pretty decent amount of damage on them before I ended up dying, because obviously I'm not on the right power level to do this fight. Like, I don't know why I thought I could kill them. I had no good buffs. I hadn't reforged my accessories with the money from Queen Slime yet. I just decided to fight them pretty much as soon as I finished the Queen Slime fight. Like, it was the same day, so yeah, I ended up dying, and then it was time for me to gear up. This would kind of end up being my loadout for the entire rest of my boss fights. I actually ended up getting some newer potions here because I did get some fishing done. I had endurance, a life force, a calming, swiftness, iron skin regen, and heart reach, along with a seafood dinner. I had harpy wings, cobalt shield, ranger emblem, worm scarf, obsidian shield, shield of Cthulhu, and frostmark boots, pretty much all with warding. I think the only thing that didn't have warding was my harpy wings, which had armored. So I had a lot of defense, and I was just trying to survive. Like, I wasn't worried about my damage output. Like, I figured no matter what happened, I had enough damage to kill the bosses. So that was kind of my whole plan, and I was just going to end up grinding Destroyer. So here's a quick montage of me fighting Destroyer.